couple housekeeping things also. If you didn't sign in, make sure you sign in before you leave. And then your ranking documents today, you'll leave those on the table. I'll collect those. I keep those for our documentation, okay? Also, the ranking document itself, when you sign, it's basically stating you don't have any kind of financial interest in any publisher. You're not a publisher. You didn't become a part of their team during this process. And that's just to protect you, the district, and the publishers in the whole process, okay? All right, so I know these numbers are kind of small. We have a lot of schools for elementary, so it gets a little tiny. So I have it on the projector. I'm going to try to magnify it a little bit. So what I've done is I've gone into Ed Credible based on all the work that you guys have done over the past 4 to 6 weeks. After you looked at the presentations for publishers, you went out and completed rubrics in Ed Credible, and it compiles all the data for us, okay? And what I look at is I look at average score instead of total score. Total score can kind of skew it a little bit if somebody didn't evaluate a publisher, okay? And so what I did, and when we started this process, we said just look at the, just do a rubric on 5th grade, so you didn't have to do multiple rubrics. There are a few outliers, so there was a couple that did a rubric on maybe 1st grade also. And so I incorporated that just for a data point for us to look at, okay? So our first publisher is Analytic Orange. And as you can see, their average score, when I looked at all grade levels, was 117.5. Just the 5th grade rubric itself was 120. And then if we go over to Gallopade, same score, 120, 120.6. McGraw-Hill, their score was 108. Nystrom was 98, and Studies Weekly was 89.5 as an average, and then 5th grade only was 103. And then if you go over to TCI, they ranked that at 110, okay? So that is just a raw score. We're not tied to those scores or rankings, okay? Because we know there are other components when you're scoring these rubrics out, you're looking to the presentations. There may be an element that is not scored in the rubric, okay, that may influence which publisher is your preference, okay? So that's why we come to our ranking document now. So the ranking document does not have to align to these scores down here. This is just a data point for us to look at, all right? So what we're going to do at this time is I'm going to give you a couple minutes to fill out that ranking document. And what you're going to do is you're going to rank them, what do we have, 6 publishers? You're going to rank them 1 through 6 on that document. 1 is your first choice, 2 is your second, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th will be your least preferred publisher in this process, okay? And then once that document is filled out, I'm going to go down the list. I'm going to say Antioch. You're going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put it in the spreadsheet, and it's going to calculate an average ranking for us down here at the bottom, okay? That's what we'll use to discuss our final ranking. All right? Any questions? Yes.
Okay, so on Analytic Orange, on the textbook that I received, on the front cover there was a sticker that said it's going to be hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that's going to be a hardbound book? What did she mean by that? And she didn't clarify that I picked up on.
It is hardbound.
Is it? Okay,
So
see.
it's
Okay.
You're going to keep it for, okay, so that's going to change.
This will be a
my
class
ranking.
set. It'll be a class set for 5 years.
Text, but then it has the word.
So kind of the industry standard now with textbooks is you might have a hardback, but you'll have a consumable each year that you'll replace. Okay?
Okay, so which one did we get? I didn't get both. I only got
I'm not sure which one you got in
Okay.
terms of sampling.
I only got one book.
Typically on the sampling, they're going to give you a paperback just because it's cheaper when they're running samples. If they indicated it's going to be a hardbound book, it will be hardbound.
It was just QR codes, and it would be much faster one that did not provide the actual student text.
Okay.
You're
Okay.
talking about the
You had
consumable.
to look at it.
This consumable was the one.
Consumable workbook is what we got, and then the textbook, you had to scan.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so take a couple minutes, rank them out. You are welcome to discuss at your table if you'd like. And then in about 2 minutes, we'll start doing the roll call on the rankings.
that one person messes it up and it's ruined for the life of the thing. That's the issue. I would prefer a cover like this, but knowing that if it gets wet or whatever, I would.
Was that brought up?
No, it wasn't.
Well, because my thoughts are there, they can see this stuff happen.
One of the companies said
Because I've had when I was taught several years ago, I remember so we did an order.
TCI wouldn't do anything. But TCIs were already consumable. The reason I asked was because the book, I only got one part of Analytic Orange, I don't know why. But on the front cover it says this will be covered. I don't know if that's the student mix or if that's.
When I went and looked online, the because the stuff they sent was good, but I see more when their stuff that clicked over. So it said on the thing that the student book was hardcover, but the student workbook was the consumer. And so, but I just remember that several years ago, at the end of every year, we would send an order to our boss, we need this many books for us. We need this many new books.
Yeah, I think that's still in-house here though. I mean, that's what I would think. I don't know.
She would make us send a report, that's all I know, like to our grade chair, and the grade chair would give us a report to the principal, and they would send us. It was just my favorite. Yeah, the stuff that I think it's so she makes me
I thought it was way too busy and quality.
Yeah, I can tell you that at the end. Sure. I'll tell you after this process is done.
No, I love they have so it is way too much, but it covers everything thoroughly. But I think it was all built in. So like the note catcher and all that stuff.
Are y'all good? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Good, good. No, you're good. I'm just making sure. I don't want to rush y'all. Good, 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 good.
It's your handwriting.
Y'all ready? Y'all good? Okay. All right, I think everybody's ready. So we will come back and see how they rank out. I'm actually going to start at the bottom. We do have a parent representative. So I'm going to call for that one first, and then that way if anybody has to step out, they can do that. So parent representative, what were your rankings?
Gallopade was 1. Analytic Orange is 2. Teachers Curriculum Institute 3.
Oops.
Tell me if I'm going fast.
Nope, you're good.
McGraw-Hill is 4. Studies Weekly is 5. And Nystrom is 6.
Okay.
But I will say that you guys are all the experts here. I'm just the parent, so honestly, whatever you decide, I will support 100%. Just let me know, and I'll be like, yep, this is what we're picking. This is what we're picking.
All right, I'm going to come up here to the top, and I'm going to start with Antioch.
Okay. I say Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, TCI 3, Studies Weekly 4, McGraw-Hill 5, Nystrom 6.
All right, Blue Water.
TCI 1, Gallopade 2, Studies Weekly 3, Analytic Orange 4, McGraw-Hill 5, Nystrom 6.
All right, Bob Sykes.
Analytic Orange 1. Gallopade 2. Nystrom 3. Studies Weekly 4. TCI 5. And McGraw-Hill 6.
All right, Destin Elementary.
Gallopade 1, Analytic Orange 2, McGraw-Hill 3, TCI 4, Nystrom 5, Studies Weekly 6.
All right, Edge.
Gallopade 1, TCI 2, Analytic Orange 3, McGraw-Hill 4, Studies Weekly 5,
All right, Edwins.
So Analytic Orange 2, Gallopade 1, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 5, Studies Weekly 6, TCI 3.
Oops. All right, Eglin.
Analytic Orange 2, Gallopade 1, McGraw-Hill 5, Nystrom 3, Studies Weekly 6, TCI 4.
Elliott Point.
All right, Analytic Orange 2, Gallopade 1, McGraw-Hill 6, Nystrom 5, Studies Weekly 4, TCI 3.
Fluorosa.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 3, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 5, TCI 2.
Kenwood.
Analytic Orange 5, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 3, and TCI 1.
Longwood.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 5.
And TCI 3.
TCI 3.
Mary Esther.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 5, Studies Weekly 6, and TCI 3.
Northwood.
Analytic Orange 1, Nystrom 2, McGraw-Hill 3.
You just put that in Gallopade?
Oops, I'm sorry. Thank you. I'm sorry. Number 2.
She said Nystrom.
Nystrom 2. Thank you.
3 is McGraw-Hill, 4 Gallopade, 5 TCI, and 6 Studies Weekly.
Flu.
1 Analytic Orange, 2 Gallopade, 3 TCI, 4 McGraw-Hill, 5 Studies Weekly, 6 Nystrom.
All right, Riverside.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 5, TCI 3.
Shalimar.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 4, McGraw-Hill 2, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 3, and TCI 5.
Southside.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 5, TCI 3.
Walker.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 3, McGraw-Hill 6, Nystrom 5, Studies Weekly 4, TCI 2.
Right.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 3, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 5, TCI 4.
All right, Baker.
Analytic Orange is 1, Gallopade 5, McGraw-Hill 3, Nystrom 4, Studies Weekly 6, TCI 2.
Laurel Hill.
Analytic Orange 1, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 5, and TCI 3.
All right, Lewis.
Analytic Orange 3, Gallopade 2, McGraw-Hill 5, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 4, TCI 1.
Ballet.
Analytic Orange 5, Gallopade 3, McGraw-Hill 4, Nystrom 6, Studies Weekly 2, TCI 1.
And that's the middle.
Analytic Orange 4, Gallopade 1, McGraw-Hill 2, Nystrom 5, Studies Weekly 6, TCI 3.
All right. So based on our average rankings, it looks like here, and looks like Analytic Orange and Gallopade are the top 2 in terms of average score. And I should have prefaced our meeting with this statement. So My goal at the start of any kind of committee is for everybody to walk out of here equally unhappy. That's always the goal. So if you do that, my mission's accomplished. And I say that just, I know that there are personal preferences, and everybody has a preference, and unfortunately, we can only pick one, obviously. And I know you guys have put a lot of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears into this. So where we're at now as a committee is having to rank out our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason we do that is based upon what happened last year at the state level. We do not want to have to reconvene and come back and do this again. And so today we'll come to kind of a consensus of, okay, our first two options based on the rankings are Analytic Orange and Gallup-Aid, which matches up to what was submitted at Incredible. So I think the data itself speaks to what that ranking is. That doesn't mean we can't change it. Okay, so we certainly have the opportunity for discussion. Based on the average rankings and scores, our third option would be TCI. Our fourth option would be McGraw-Hill. Our fifth option would be Studies Weekly, and our sixth option would be Nystrom. Okay, and so what that means is when I make the recommendation to the school board, that would be the rankings that we would go with off just pure rankings off this committee's work. So if the state of Florida came in and said Analytic Orange and Gallup-Aid are not an option for the state of Florida this year, we by default will go to our third option, which would be TCI. Okay, that would be the recommendation I take to the school board at that time. So, and if that one didn't make it, we would go to number 4, then 5, and then 6. Yes, sir.
Please let us know if that's the case.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. This, trust me, you're going to hear from me more. Don't worry. So you're not rid of me just yet. So with that being stated, that would be the proposal. But I will certainly open it up for discussion if there's any kind of differing opinions on that. Now would be the time to voice those opinions or discussions.
One thing I want to state, and this came something I noticed after we turned it all in and whatnot. And it's something I noticed in Gallup-Aid, which is still one of my favorites, and I don't know how it affects it. But when it talks about our government, it talks about us having a democracy, which is not necessarily correct. It's actually a constitutional republic, which it does make a difference in how it identifies it.
So what will happen to address that concern? So again, at the state level, they're doing the same exact process we're doing here. Okay. So if the state of Florida came in and said that is incorrect, which they're more than likely they will, they'll come in and say that's got to be changed, that's got to be more accurate. So they will make revisions to their final product before it goes to print.
Good.
Okay. So what y'all saw was just their first swing at it.
Yes.
And the state will come in and say, you got to change that on page 5, you got to change that on page 13. And they will make those corrections, or the state will say, you're not approved for us. Okay. So any disagreement on the rankings? Are we good in terms of the phase of this meeting? We're going to set our rankings as they are right now. Questions?
Could you tell us those rankings one more time?
Yep. So we've got Analytic Orange right now is the highest ranked. Number 2 is Gallup-Aid. 3 is TCI. 4 is McGraw-Hill. 5 is Studies Weekly, and then 6 is Nystrom. Now, this is going to take us into our second phase, so you're not off the hook just yet. My parent representative, you're good. You can sit back and relax. So the next phase of this, so we have our top 2 finalists, okay? And based on the rankings here, they're 1 and 2, okay? But the final ranking will be determined at the school level by a vote of teachers that teach social studies at your schools, okay? So the next phase will be what I'll need your help with is facilitating a review of the materials at your school, okay, from the teachers that teach social studies at your school.
So if they don't teach social studies, if they're not self-contained, they don't get a vote.
If they teach social studies, they can vote. So, but if they do not teach social studies, they will not be involved in this process. So let me kind of give you the broad view, then I'll come back to questions because it's kind of a global view, but I try to break it down in chunks. So from between today and March 10th will be the opportunity for teachers to review the materials at your school and vote for their preference.
For all the books, all 6 of them?
Just the top 2. Just the top 2.
The
So,
voting has to take place within that window as well, you said?
yes, yes. So what is going to happen is I'm going to share a Google document with you. It might be this afternoon if the stars align, but more than likely tomorrow morning. I'm going to share a Google Doc with you, and it's going to have the top 2 publishers as options. Okay, so I'll create the ballot for you. All you've got to do is print it off and provide that to your teachers. Okay, so what I'll need your help with is facilitating the opportunity for them to review the materials, and then also the opportunity to vote, you collecting the ballots. Okay, I always say have a sign-in sheet. And when they sign in, they're signing that they have reviewed the materials. If they don't review the materials, they can't vote, okay? So they're certifying to you that, yes, I reviewed the materials, and then that they vote. And they get 1 vote, just 1 vote. And they have to teach social studies. So what will happen is I will reach out to the publishers, and I'll let them know, hey, you're top 2, congratulations, right? I'll also invite them to come back here. They'll actually be in this room on March 2nd, if you want to pass this along to your teachers, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. It won't be a full-blown presentation. It's really a question and answer time. The community is invited to it. Principals, teachers, parents, anybody can come and talk to the publishers. And so they'll be in this room. The teachers at your school can come ask them questions. Okay? So March 2nd, it'll be... That will not be live streamed. No, ma'am. So the teachers, before they vote, so at your school, I don't want to dictate your timeline, but I would not have your timeline have votes due and finalized before March 4th, okay? That gives teachers the opportunity to come here and talk to the publishers. They can make an informed decision, and then by March 4th, I would say you could close out your vote if you want to, okay? Your school result is not due to me until March 10th, okay? So try to give enough time to review it. If there's any questions, you can certainly reach out and make that happen. The school result, and I'll pick on Elliott Point because you jumped in my head first. When your teachers vote, let's say you've got 30 teachers at Elliott Point that teach social studies. If 16 vote for Analytic Orange, and 14 vote for Gallopade, then Elliott Point's vote for adoption is going to be Analytic Orange. Okay, it's 50% plus 1. That's your school vote for this process. Okay. Also, hold on to your individual ballots. When they fill out that ballot, stick them in a folder and keep it. Last year with math, we did have a tie at elementary, and if that happens, we go to individual ballots. And so I'll say, hey, Elliott Point, how many teachers voted for Analytic Orange? How many voted for Gallopade? And then that's how we break that tie, okay? So make sure you keep everything until I tell you it's okay to throw it away, all right? Maintain your sign-in sheet, maintain your ballots, okay? I will reach out to the top 2 finalists and ask them if they have any kind of supplemental materials to help you facilitate this presentation. I don't expect you to stand up and do a dog and pony at a faculty meeting, okay? That's not your job. Certainly, you can talk to your principal if they want to give you 10 minutes to kind of walk through and present the 2 different publishers. You're welcome to do that. You can also share the presentation links that are recorded. They're on our school district website. You can direct them to watch those presentations. If you have questions, if you think of something after you walk out of here, or teachers at your school have questions, send it to me. I'll reach out to the publisher, get the answer for you, and I'll pass it back. Okay. They shouldn't be contacting publishers directly. Let all the communication flow through me, and that's actually a state law, unfortunately.
The OCSD webpage?
They are. If you go to our homepage, there's a little block at the bottom that says Social Studies Textbook Adoption. They can access all the materials electronically, just like you guys could through EdCredible. There's links and sign-in information. All the presentations we recorded and live streamed, they're on that page also. They can click on it and watch that.
But do they have to go through EdCredible to watch those?
No, no. It's all on the website, oakleysschools.com. So.
What do we do with all of them
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got a couple options. Right now, I would hold them just until the state finalizes their list. Because what I don't want us to do is throw it away, and then the state come in and say, hey, you're going to have your fourth option now, right?
That was my next question. So if the school votes on these two and then the state says, no, those two aren't options, is there another vote after that, or does it just
No,
go down?
it would go down to our third choice. And so typically what happened last year with math, if it holds true, hopefully it will not be as widespread. The state releases their final list. And then last year what happened was there was an appeal process for publishers, okay? There was not a hard, fast deadline. It was kind of this rolling list. Every couple of days we'd get an update. And so based on the final release, they'll probably have an appeal process. So if our first choice was not on the initial list, they would have the opportunity to make changes to their curriculum, and then they could then get on the approved list, potentially. Some publishers chose not to. They said, we're not going to make the change. And so that's where we're kind of in a limbo. And so then you get into philosophy. Do we just cut bait and get our second option so we can get books here quicker? Or do we hold out for the product we really want, keeping in mind we're going to have it for 5 years, okay? And that, fortunately, it's not something y'all have to decide. That kind of funnels back to me and the folks above me. We sit in a room and kind of hash that out a lot of times. So, so right now, your role is helping us to facilitate who our first and second options are going to be, okay? I will say when you do your presentation, I would make an effort to be just objective. And certainly you can talk about your preference and the pros and cons of each one, but I would not skew or try to push folks towards one just for the sake of transparency and the publishers. So I try to be objective. Anything you get from me is going to be in alphabetical order, okay? I don't release ranking data. That's just the process I use to keep it kosher. When publishers come in here on the March 2nd, I line them up in alphabetical order just so there's no favoritism or anything like that. So let's see. That's a lot of information I've thrown at you. The biggest thing right now is just be looking for the Google Doc that'll have the ballot I'll send to you. Just make sure you save ballots and sign-in sheets. And then March 2nd, publishers will be here. Anytime after that, you can close out your school vote. And then on probably about March 5th, I'll share another Google Doc. That's for me. And that's where you'll indicate what your school's choice was based on the school vote. You'll just say, Elliott Point, Analytic Orange. You'll just check that box and then you're done. And then I'll let you know what the results are as we go through this process. You're not going to be in the dark. I always like to let you guys know first because honestly, y'all have done all the work. So I like for you guys to be in the loop and you know what's happening. Hopefully it'll shake out how y'all want it. And then we'll go from there. So are there any questions?
Eventually, after the process, what do we do with the materials?
Okay, yes, I'm sorry. So you're right. I went all around that question, didn't I? Yeah, so after that, you have two options. You can either keep it, or you can throw it away, or you can send it to me and I'll throw it away. So whichever you prefer. So I'll send out a summary email with all this information. Again, I'm going to try to get it out to y'all today, but it's probably going to be tomorrow, just with a bulleted point list of what we have to do next. And again, if you have any questions when you walk out of here, feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I'll try to track down an answer for you. So I appreciate everybody's time. Y'all have done an awesome job. I know it's been a lot, so go enjoy the rest of the day. Don't think about textbooks for a few hours at least. So.